Hello everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to Friday. It's 1 o'clock. I am the creator and trainer at fmtraining.tv, where we create live training every day for you at 1 o'clock Pacific time. We also have a number of free video courses there that are really outstanding, so feel free to check that out. So today is kind of like open line Friday per se. For those of you who understand, that's kind of a, a term for that. But yeah, we basically will take any kind of questions today, as long as it's on the general topic of FileMaker. And happy to answer those. And plus, I have a little bit of interesting content that came out. We saw a sample file the other day. One of my engineers flipped over. I was asking about a problem I wanted to solve, and basically the idea was to have a screenshot, basically be able to generate a screenshot of your Windows or Macintosh screen and save that into a container. So if you wanted to see what the problem the user was seeing, then you had that kind of ability that they could trigger this script. So you run a script, it takes a screenshot, saves it in a container. What you do with it from there, up to you, right? So once again, we are live broadcasting on twitch.tv as well as YouTube. You can watch the video in 1080 high definition. I recommend that if you have the internet bandwidth to do that. Select 1080 and make it full screen. That'll make your life much, much better. So today assisting me is David Castillo. David Castillo, are you there?
I am. Hey.
All right. So we are going to have a sample file today. The sample file that we're going to initially put out will be very rough, right? And as a result of it being rough, I mean, it'll work, but it's supposed to be cross-platform. So if any of you are Windows people, we will want you to test it and see if it works for you. So what I want to do is I want to do a great shout out to the folks at 360Works. 360Works is a company that makes development tools for the FileMaker platform. They do consulting too, but if you asked the FileMaker community what their ongoing, what is 360Works known for or most valued for, I would say that it's the idea that they do these products that are fairly mission critical. And every once in a while, FileMaker will add a new feature that takes away something that 360Works has a product on. So years ago, before there was digital document management with FileMaker with container fields, 360Works brought a product that used the web viewer called Super Container. In my opinion, it's one of those moments where a third-party company saves Claris or FileMaker at the time. Because FileMaker was not really looking in the future like it should, and every other product on the planet, SharePoint, every other data collaboration system had document management, and FileMaker, for whatever reason, didn't think that was important, and so they didn't build it. And then, of course, it took a third-party product. I remember this company, 360Works, because I talked to them. I haven't talked to them lately too much, but normally I'm talking to them quite a bit, and And I remember they had sold I thought 85% of my customers had bought the product. It was that good. In fact, I presented on it at DEF CON to explain it, and it was like the session at that hour. They gave me the entire giant room, and I think we were presenting to almost 1,000 people on a third-party product. And even FileMaker was there going, holy crap, this is really great stuff. So that's 360. They make some really great stuff. They make my deferred syncing tool. They have a sync product that allows you to sync between products. They have a deployment tool. They have an email tool that I use. So we could spend a lot of time talking about 360. All their products are paid products, which means you have to buy them, except the one we're talking about today. And I don't even use it that much. It's called ScriptMaster. It's down here. And what ScriptMaster does, I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see it. ScriptMaster is basically kind of this free general purpose plugin. It's a little bit like base elements like that. I mean, if you thought about two free plugins of the FileMaker community that have lived on for many, many years, we had a lot of support. Base Elements is my number one I go to, but it's really different than ScriptMaster. They're not really generally something that compete against each other, right? For example, if you write your own code and you want to build your own plugin and kind of add an add-on module to it with ScriptMaster, I think it allows you to do that. Obviously, you have to be careful with licensing if you want to start distributing it, but for example, here it is. ScriptMaster works on Macs, it works on Windows, and it has these 80 different modules that do all sorts of stuff. If you know what regex is, it supports all that. It's pretty neat stuff. So ScriptMaster a lot of people use it, and really it's a good PR piece for 360Works. I don't use it that much. Oh, and look, they have a paid version now, ScriptMaster Advanced. Let's see. Royalty-free distribution, so you can actually distribute it yourself, which is interesting. You can add your own module to it and distribute it. And then there's 80 modules built in, but if you pay the $95 a year, so they found a way to make money on it, which is always good. Access to the clipboard, which is interesting. Create your own plugins, and then access to this SQL engine. So that has some additional capabilities. Now the feature today that we're talking about is this screen capture capability, and what I wanted to talk about is demo this. So it's right here. You can go through and look at it. You know, Jesse Barnum is here, and he's you know, does all. In fact, that's an old picture of Jesse there. Unless, nah, he's a lot thinner than that now. It's an old photo of him. But anyway, yeah. So it's interesting. It does a lot. It does a lot. So if you're an advanced kind of developer, once again, we talk about the different levels of developer, but I'll just simply talk about this real quick. Basically, you have your beginning developers right here in the light green. Then you have your more intermediate developers. The people that are light green are just kind of learn the basics. So this conversation about this plugin is really not for you. You really need to be starting to be an intermediate person. And then obviously Ninja people already probably know about this. If they don't, then I'm happy to educate you. But this conversation, at least at this point, is intermediate to advanced. If you're beginning, that's fine. Just understand that if I say things like global variables and custom functions, and we're going to call this, and it calls it through the script engine or a calculation engine, and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's because the conversation is more intermediate. So anyway, so let's dive into this real quick. If you have questions, now if you want to ask me about every module in ScriptMaster, I have no idea, okay? I use it intermittently. I don't use it all the time, but you can read through this and check out all the modules. But this has been around for years, probably more than 10 years, but they obviously are updating it. And what's cool about the sample solution that I'm setting up, and I'm going to set for you here, is that it automatically will install the plugin. So if you want to learn how to install a plugin, this is a great example of it. So I'm going to double click it right here. I'm going to fire this file up right here. It says your plugin is enabled, right? The first time you open this file up, it's going to say, hey, it's not installed, unless you're one of these people that already has it installed. And it will install it for you. Generally, it should work thereafter, but if it doesn't, quit FileMaker, reopen it. And if you're using a newer version of the Mac operating system like Catalina or even Mojave, I think, if you try to do the screen capture process, a little security dialog will come up, and you have to enable that to turn on, at least on the Mac side, because people are writing really aggressive viruses that steal screenshots, and it's kind of dangerous a little bit. I'm going to say OK right here. So the idea is that it doesn't. Well, okay, here's what's important to understand. Well, screw it. Let me just run this, all right? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit right here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and we got a bunch of sample files and stuff over here if we need to dip into that. But I'm just going to press the button right here. So I'm on this right here. I'm going to make a big face, and I'm going to and then I'm going to press the button, right? So we're on this. You ready? All right, so I pressed the button, and it took a screenshot, and it put it in a container. And so if I wanted to export the field contents, I can do that. I could always script that and write that. Here's the image right here, and here is a screenshot that we had. Of course, so there we are. There's the screenshot. So holy cow, right? That's a lot of mouth. So anyway, there we go. So the question is like, well, what if I don't want to see all this, right? Well, what you can do, there's two. For those of you paying attention, there's really cool things we can do here. What you can do is you can change the height and width or the coordinates, right? So where you want to begin and kind of where you want to end. So it starts at 0, 0 coordinates, which is upper left. So right now it's taking an entire screenshot, but you could have it take just the FileMaker screen. So what you'd have to do is open up. I'm going to go and close this. You'd have to go up and open up your script, and this is stuff is probably once again intermediate level. But you say startup capture. What it does, it takes this code right here, and it loads it into a variable, right? Step one. Step two, it's going to substitute in the height and the width and the things that we want to see. In this case, it's set for 0, 0, but you could hard code it, or you could get the height and width of the current screen, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel. We're going to hack this a little bit, have a little fun with it. Script workspace. I'm going to close that. And what I'll do is I'm just going to rename it to be capture screen. I'll call it whole screen, right? And then we could do is we could try to play with it a little bit and look at capturing just the FileMaker window. The problem is it's the current FileMaker window. You can have other FileMaker windows, and so open. And and this works on Mac and Windows. Go, no, because Go doesn't support plugins, right? Maybe with a JavaScript thing, and you could hack it with a JavaScript potentially, but yeah, it opens up some interesting possibilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for the moment, duplicate it. I'm going to rename it to be, I'll just say current FM window. And I'm not sure I can really do this in real time in front of all you and be successful at it. But what I'd want to do is you'd have to, what we'll do, well, this is the code, right? So I would say start X, right? And then I would say start Y. And then that's really the height and the width at that point, I think. I think that's how that works. So what I'm going to do is I would come over here to this. We could fix the current one. So what we got to do is fix the whole screen one first. And so we have the substitution function right here. And what we're doing is we load in that block of text, right? And then we do substitutions against it, right? So what we need to do is do some more substitutions with the semicolon right here. So you could do that one. You could leave that in there. You could do a substitution of start X, and we could say that would be, just for now, let's just say it's 0. Can I put that in there like that without it being a string? Probably it's a numeric integer. So what it's doing is doing a chain of substitutions here. And I can say start Y, and I do 0. So is that what it was? Start Y and start, yeah, I can't really see over there. I'm thinking that's it. I don't know if those are capitals. Let's see, may or may not be case sensitive. No, that's the way I did it, lowercase. Okay, great. So I'm going to say save. That's the current. Okay, I screwed that up. That's fine. Let me just copy that right here. Go over here. Comment out that one. Yesterday or the day before we did keyboard shortcuts. Command / is my disable. I'm going to hit return. I'm going to paste in my new line. So we're doing 4 substitutions. The starting XY coordinate and the ending XY coordinate. The default solution here was 0, 0. It got the whole screen. So let's just start with this. Make sure it still works. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to press the button again. I'll do test number 1. And that worked. And so obviously that code is working. So then what we want to do is we want to come over here and play a little bit more with these substitutions. So what we want to do is we want to say get, and these are get functions in here. We want to say get window, is it window height, window content? See, that's the functions here, desktop, right? So I think they're using, or screen height, desktop height, screen height. Yeah, content height. You'd have to go in and look at these. It returns the height and points of the window content area. Okay, so we could try that. So that's height. We'll do that one right there. And then I will do, or is this the actual returns the height and points? Wow, this is going to get really stupid. I don't know if I want to do this right now. Because here's the thing. It's going to return, if I do, it's actually one of those things where you need to work it out. In what we did yesterday was the data viewer and the script debugger. What I want to do is I want to actually hit OK. I'm going to close this for the moment. And David, if you want to put the sample file out there for people, they can see that in both locations. Let's go into the data viewer here. And what I want to take a look at something. So I'm going to go ahead and close the script here. I'm going to put myself over here. I'm there for whatever reason. So let's say watch. So this is where we were playing with the data viewer the other day. What we need to do is we need to get, it was the, and we'll take a look at these get functions down here just to play with them. So if we got window left, window height, left. Is there a right? Left. What is this? Returns a horizontal distance, points from the outer edge of window to this on which the script is acting, the leftmost edge of the screen. Yeah, so basically the idea is to combine these together. So I'm going to say content height right here. Put that over here, content height. And so, yeah, so I think what it is that if I come over here, I make this a little bit smaller for the moment. So you got the content height, and make it down a little bit. All right, so let me come over here, and you can, it should automatically evaluate. So if I put it, I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to bring the window up. And is it going to let me do that? I can just say monitor. All right, so it should be automatic. So I've come over here and put it over here, and I click on the window. And if I move it, see, I'm moving it around, the number's not chasing. Now if I resize it, now it didn't update. Oh, okay, so now it's being, so it only updates if you click on the window. That's just swell. All right, so let's try that again. So it's 7:59 right here. I know it's small, make me full screen, please, my recommendation. And so if I move it around, I click, nothing happens. So once again, this is actually getting the width in pixels. Of course, you can't see me, so let me move my hand again. The width in pixels, regardless of where it's at, it's 7 whatever and change across, 7:59. Now if I resize it like that, and I move it, you're still not getting an update. But if you click over here, hello, I had to click on it. It's 7:18. So the idea is that what you have to do is you have to get the starting location of the window and then add the window height. So this is where we have to kind of figure this out. So we come over here, double click on it, brings it up. That's the height. So what I need to do is get the starting. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to delete it so I have it in the clipboard. I'm going to say get. I want to see down here the window functions. Window style top. Window, let's just say window top. The top location, okay? And then we add that to it. Okay? So that should give you the height, the actual height that you need to go to. So theoretically, what you want to do is take a picture between that location and that location, I think. What would be, let's monitor that and see if that works. The parameter is invalid. Why is the parameter invalid? Oh, sorry. Being stupid. There we go. Let's try that. Monitor. So 757. Click on that. Of course, can I move the window? Okay, if I move the window down, okay, so here's the thing. If I move the window, you can't see me. If I move the window down from this like little scroll control right here, I click on that and I move it down, that number should not change because it's additive, right? So if I move it down, see the bottom corner down there is not moving, down to the left down there in the window. If I come down and then I click over here, see it didn't change. Yeah, so this is the correct formula here. To do the screenshot of the current window, or it's pretty close. So what we can do is we can come back over here, and based upon what we know here, I'm going to come over here to this. I'm going to copy that out of there. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to Script, Command shortcut, Command Shift S, sample file there, sample file there. People are awful quiet, man. It's like, whew. All right, so we have the whole screen here, which does the whole screen. Then this one is the current window right here. Now this is not the sample file you have. You have just the basic one. This is the one that we're playing with here. Once again, we're learning calculations, get functions, calling external functions, and then taking pictures. So to be able to handle all this, you have to be able to do a couple different things. So what I want to do is every time, I'm going to put a return here on this, so that way we can see the initial X and Y, and then the, okay, so delete. All right, so the initial, now down here, if I come down here, this is the function we had, all right? So that makes sense. And so if I say I want to start at the get the window top, so that's the start height is Y coordinate, so I want to say start with that right there, okay? And then the completed vertical height would be this entire function, right? Because it has to be additive. So I put those in there. So I think that works. Then I need to do window top, window. That's why there's a left, a top and a left, because that gives you that. That's why there was no right. Okay. Once again, I'm a little slow. I have to catch up sometimes, right? A little slow. So I'm going to say the start will be get window left. There we go. That's that left coordinate. And then we want to put it additive together. So it's going to be get, the width will be get left. Okay, good. Then why is there a period right there? Did I hit period? Oh, I did hit period by accident. Okay. Plus, then we want the window content width, right? Can I put period in there twice? What am I doing? And then I say get window content width. I think this is the winning formula right here that gives us just the FileMaker window. I say, okay. So you understand what we do. We had to locate the top corner, then figure out the width, right, of it. So that's kind of how that magically works. So I'm going to save the script. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to delete. Now, to make sure we have a new image, I'm going to go 2 or 5 or whatever that is. I'll just say 2, right? Or 2, right? Rock on, party. Ready? 1. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me see what script it's going to run. It's going to run whole screen. We don't want that. We want the current window. Browse. Right? Ready? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. It's closer. It's interesting. I know what it is. It's not taking into account the menu bar at the top. That little gap up there is this. It's starting when you say 0. It's that spot right there. I don't know. Here, listen. Yeah, let me zoom in here. So this is one of those little things where there's a little weirdness, and you just have to kind of like lean design stuff. So it trims stuff off the top. It just didn't trim very much. When it's counting, we thought it would count up here. It starts counting right here, right? So that's what it counted down, and it removed it from the top. So what we have to do is that is 5 pixels, 10 pixels. So what we have to do is we could do 5 and 10 on the vertical, and then go to scripts. Some of you are like, I'm so bored. This is so boring. I hate this. Yeah, I can understand it being boring. Just trying to wrestle with this. So what you want to do is you want to start with the top is really going to be top, let's just say plus 15 or 18, something like that. Let's say stop plus 18. And then what I'll do is I'll come back here where I do top again. And I'll say top plus 18 and then plus. So that should get the one side closer. So I'm going to go and delete. I'm going to say, so we're going to try it again. So I'm going to say, now we didn't fix the X, we just fixed the Y. So vertically it should be pretty close. So this is test number 3, 1, 2, 3. It's closer, it's pretty close. If I go export field op contents, desktop, save, replace. See, look up there, it's the best. So I did about another 3 pixels or 4 pixels. So like 20 or 22. I could do like 22. And then that will be pretty close to the screen size. And then we have to figure out why the left is unhappy. And so I come back in here, I'm going to put 22 in here. That'll be 22. That'll be really close. And I know someone's probably already worked this out. I could do a search on figuring this out, but so then you got left. So so we got that fixed. Okay, save. So I'm going to assume that one's good. I'm going to get rid of that. But why? What is... So it started taking pictures right over here. It's almost like, I bet you $100 it's the dock. Let me turn the dock totally. The dock is on. I'm going to go to dock. I'm going to turn the dock. I've got the hiding automatic on and off. We could try it with that first and see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this image here. I'm going to have the dock is off. So I'm going to have it off. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hold up a 4. I think it'll be a 4, right? So 4. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh, that's pretty damn close. So suddenly it works, right? And then if I turn, I'll just export here so you can see this. So the X so it's taking the dock into account. So if your thing is under the dock or not on the dock or whatever it is on the Mac, yeah, that's perfect. So 22 at the top is awesome, or maybe 23. The left is already fine. You just have to take the dock into account. And then it's a little too wide. Don't know. But that's fine. It gets you pretty close. So anyway, once again, that's how you monkey around with this and get it fixed. And then obviously you'd want to test it on Windows as well. So I don't want to waste any more time on that. It's about 30 minutes. Now, the really cool question, the thing that happened, we start to tie these learning lessons together, was like, well, what if I bring this up and I want to crop it, right? And you remember the cropping conversation, right? We had the crop There's the crop file right there. Is it in the trash? No, it's right there. I'm going to option drag it over here, drag it over here. So you could have the crop here, and you could actually then have the other file running, right? And it could feed, oops, let me run that real quick. Okay, so, wow. You know what's other part of this is I have two, okay, here's the thing. I don't know what it's doing. I have two windows running here, just so you know. And the other window, I have two monitors. One monitor is this one. The other monitor is our broadcast box that is going through. They're mirrored together, so I don't know what it's doing. But say you had this is your container here, right? You take this picture and it feeds into this over here, and you say, oh yeah, I want to be able to crop it. So then you combine your capabilities together and you say, hey, let's crop this thing, right? So you come over here and you can crop it, right? Whatever you're doing, right? And you hit return. And you could crop your content, right? Save. And so that's where you can actually crop it down here and do, and it was a 1-to-1 ratio. You can set the ratio, force it to be 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or whatever you want, or you can have it be free floating and you can do whatever you want. So that's it for now. Richard Carlton here signing off. Welcome to fmtraining.tv, where we do live training every day, Monday through Friday. As a reminder, for those of you who are here who have not bothered to support the channel yet, really recommend you check out our training bundles that we have here. And learn and support the channel. That's how we pay for all this, and we're able to bring cool little widgets and things to you and training, valuable training. Once again, the live training is here, but it's not a cohesive, step-by-step progressive training environment. If you want that, that's not YouTube. It's not going to be free online. What that is a training course that you can buy. So you can buy the complete course here that comes with a full copy of FileMaker and a 1-year subscription, and all the training, and all our little sample files and everything like that. Over here is our learning only bundle right here. And this, you can get both of these for $50 off. So this is $149 and get it, or $199 and get it for $149 if you want. Send an email to support RC Consulting. Keep your subscription up to date, because if your subscription is current through May, then you will get the FileMaker 19 related stuff whenever they ship it. And I don't know when they're going to ship it. They don't tell me that. So, but I am working on the videos for it, so they'll be ready to go. So I highly recommend you stay up to date, keep it going. And then once again, we will update this content, but we'll keep we always keep the legacy content in the bundle. And so you can get access to the 18, 17 stuff in there, but then there's the current content and then there's the legacy content. So you basically get everything. So this is the video only training with sample files. The other bundle includes a copy of FileMaker Pro Advanced, and as well as the calendar kit and some other kits like that, as well as all the training. And it also includes a free hour of coaching too with that. So that's actually a pretty good deal. So feel free to check that out. If you have questions, email us at support@RC Consulting. And I appreciate it. See you, everyone.
And the guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected. The quarterback, great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snaps a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.